Hey, it's your girl Nettie B.
Hey, and it's Reema L, and this is the Sugar and Spouse podcast where we'll be giving you all the tips and tricks, aka the sugar, on wedding planning.
And let us not forget the spouse, where we will be talking about how to keep that spark alive before and after the I do's. We'll also be covering professional vendors that can help you on your wedding planning journey. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
When I feel what I feel, sometimes it's hard to tell so.
When I feel what I feel.
Gets us ready for each episode.
How are you? What's up?
Girl, what's up? What's down? Girl, life is life.
Time is flying. It's getting nicer outside.
It's going to be May next week. Did you notice that? We're already almost halfway through the year.
I don't mean you put it that way. I was so happy for the flowers that would have came from April showers.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, so I wasn't thinking about time passing.
Oh my gosh.
How it marches forward.
Yeah, no, because my birthday's in May, and every time it's like it's my birthday already, I feel like the year is halfway done.
It is. Yeah.
It's like, geez, but yeah. That's how life goes.
Yes, which is so important to make changes and decisions in the moment, because time flies, and it just, before you know it, 10 years then passed. 20 years then passed.
Just
it's
like
half
that.
of the year.
Yeah, at a blink of an eye. So, we don't got time for games. We got to make plans, make moves, and do what's best for us, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's why today we will be talking about cohabitating or living together before or after the I do's.
That's right. That's right. So, as we all know, it's been like taboo to live together before you get married. I know in some religious families, it's definitely taboo.
Still, yeah. Yeah, it's still a taboo. But the good news is that like 50% of the couples nowadays live together beforehand. But as opposed to in the 50s and the 70s, that was 11%. But there's a lot of factors that go into why that was.
Well, I know for one, I definitely had to. That was a must for me. I was like, no, I need to see you in the light of day and make sure that I am able to handle this once we get married, because this is something our wedding officiant for our wedding, he told us during our counseling. Divorce, might as well take it out of your vocabulary. It doesn't exist. So if divorce doesn't exist, I need to make sure I can live with you after it. What about you, Nettie?
I didn't even think about it in the sense of marriage or whatever. I was just so obsessed with my fiance, who's my boyfriend at that time, and I was like, "Hey, you should live with me. Come on, I want you to go home.
I want to see you every day.
I want to see you every day. Hey."
I mean, hey.
But no, I'm really happy. I don't think that I would have the thought of getting married to someone without living with them first is so scary to me. I got that first realization is when I went away to college is when I had to live with strangers.
Right.
And then that opened my mind to the fact that so many different people live in so many different ways. And, imagine if I was stuck.
Right. Yeah, that's the difference. In college, every year you can choose a different roommate. Even in the middle of the year, if you feel like this is not the situation for you, you can change it up. I don't know if that's the case once you get married. I feel like some people may do it, different strokes for different folks. But ideally, you don't think I'm going to get married to not live with my wife or husband or spouse.
No one thinks like that. Maybe some people have they want to be long distance for whatever reason, but that's not hypocritical.
That's
Uh,
a different
yeah.
structure.
But yeah, there's just things that you just don't think about, or you just like, I would have never thought about before I went away and had roommates. So then now that, so I was like, okay, of course I'm going to live with my man before he's my husband. So, you know, it's kind of cool. I like it. Um, I'm happy that I did.
Same. I'm totally happy that I did. Well, with that's being on that high note of being happy about living with our person before marriage. Let's get into some pros
Mm.
of of living with each other before you guys decide to jump the broom, say I do, whatever traditions to lock you in for life.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
get
so
into
like,
it.
why would somebody want to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one good obvious pro I think is like it may deepen and enrich your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You-
Definitely.
yeah, like you guys are sharing a space, and you just get to know each other a lot more intimately. Like when you were apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a bad day, you could go home. Or like when you come home and you have a bad day, you unwind, no one's in your space. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry anything about that. And so, when you're dating a person and you guys don't live together, you might never see how they are after a terrible day.
Right, that's absolutely true.
Hmm.
And I feel like that goes back to being flexible in a
Mm,
marriage. You definitely have to be
nice
flexible.
callback.
Right? Because, you know, things that you do in your day to day when you're a single person,
Hmm.
it might not fly when you're living with someone. So definitely, I agree. That definitely enriches the relationship. And you guys can take on obstacles together and
Hmm.
you understand each other's thought patterns a little better.
Yeah, it's kind of like you also get to like be more trustworthy. Like the trust gets a lot better
Mhm.
because you guys go through obstacles, as you said, and there's all these other opportunities that to like do things with them. Like maybe you guys can raise a pet together,
Mhm.
or those hard conversations about children and like life together kind of
Mhm.
come up a little bit more naturally because you guys are sharing that space already.
Right, right. Like
Hmm.
socially, those would be like those next steps if that's
Hmm.
where your relationship is headed, you know? You guys are living together, possibly marriage, possibly having kids. So
Hmm.
I can definitely see those naturally being those conversations once you're in that type of environment.
Right? And then you guys can learn, like, get your own rhythm. Like when you and your
Hmm.
spouse or your significant other, you guys find that groove of things that work for each other. Um,
Hmm.
it's like, it's really, really, you build a home, like you literally build a home without all the stress
Hmm.
because you don't have to, it's not make or break. Like you said before, divorce is not an option, right? When you're
Hmm.
married. So if if you guys are just dating, you live together, you can be like, well, this didn't work.
Absolutely. And it definitely puts you in a position where you have to roll with the punches. You take the good
Hmm.
with the bad, and you guys can tackle on those issues that you probably wouldn't have seen if you didn't live together. So you guys are committing to show up and stay together, not
Hmm.
only for the good things that happen in your relationship, but also in those bad situations too.
Right. For instance, like I I had these really ratty pajamas.
Hmm.
And
Tell
like,
us about it.
so like they're really they were like, I don't know if anybody has this, but
Mhm.
you may have like this one old shirt that's like, oh, this is my comfortable shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, your significant other probably will never see it if they don't live with you, but it got evicted. Roz put his foot down and was like, it gotta go. But
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple
um
of things that were talked about in a negative way. It was so comfy, like in the wintertime, because I live in a condo. So
yeah.
when they decide when it's time for you guys to get toasty, when it's time for, to turn the toastiness off. So when I'm ready for it to be warm, but they're not, I have my onesies and it's like, I'll zip it up. I have my moo as, my Haitian family like to call the oversized nightgowns and stuff that Granny probably wore. They're so comfortable. It's like Come on, let's be comfortable with me. But clearly that's not attractive or,
Well, I think the good part is that he still loved me through it, right? Like it wasn't a deal breaker, but imagine
you just
if
have to
like
get rid of it.
he never knew. I mean, we had compromises, right? But imagine if
Okay.
I busted out a week into marriage, because it's my comfortable spot. Sure. Like
I mean, compromise.
compromise, flexibility.
That's what that sounds like. A lot of compromising.
Yeah. And that's also deepening and enriching the relationship though.
Absolutely. And if you two are in that next phase and the question is popped, your wedding planning, it can also assist with those stresses because you guys are together. You don't have to worry about moving things after you get married. You don't have to worry about looking for a home, especially in this economy now. It's kind of rough. So so if you have that already set, so after the I do's, you guys go take your honeymoon, enjoy yourself, or just take a breather now that everything is over. You can do that in your own home that you've already settled in together already.
Wow, that's a good idea. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just another thing to say goodbye to. If after you say I do's, you have to say goodbye to your space, or you
Yeah.
guys gotta like figure out. I don't want to throw away this shirt that I love
So much.
so much.
All the rips and holes.
All the rips and holes is so important to me. Or like, I don't know. I want to keep this painting or whatever. Like it's just a lot. Moving is terrible. I 10 out of 10, 0 out of 10. Don't recommend. If I could, I would give this 0 stars. Moving is trash.
It's the most tedious process ever.
But also speaking of planning in the wedding, like stressors, also just scheduling like wedding events together is just easier, like making those actual wedding plans because you guys are in the same space. So you don't have to try to, make the schedule like, okay, meet me at my house at this time, or or I got to do this and that. Like, okay, I'll just see you at home.
Right.
So we could talk about this or, so, I mean, it's easier to plan with someone if they're right there.
Yeah, definitely. And to go into Nettie's favorite thing to talk about, you could definitely save by living with each other.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Set those budgets. It definitely can reduce expenses. You won't be paying for 2 places at the same time. You guys can consolidate and, grow your funds together by just focusing on that one unit.
Yes, you can save on everything. Groceries.
Bills.
Like, yeah. And then even if it's no other bill, like one thing you guys could definitely save on is your mortgage or rent because you don't need to have 2 anymore. It's only one. So only paying for one. And if you want to be diplomatic about it, split it right in half. There you have it.
There you go.
Okay, I have another pro.
All right, lay it on us.
Okay. Moving in together, it means that you guys are committing to the good and the bad in each other and your relationship. You're committing to show up and stay together on the good as well as the bad days. So it really, it really helps commitment. Like it shows that you guys are serious about each other when you move in together.
Yes. Thank you for emphasizing that and driving that home. Definitely something to take away from all of this. Definitely is key because everything isn't always sweet and beautiful and glittery all the time. So if your boo likes to have makeup on every time y'all meet up, you might not get that every time when you live together. Is that a deal breaker? I don't know.
Oh boy.
And there's some people who are like that. Like, they see their person and it's like they're always dolled up and together and things like that. And then you don't see them so together and it's kind of like a shock. Like,
Yeah, I can see that. But, people are human.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
But, we have some, shallow hows. You know? So living together definitely will kind of like, humble you and mellow it out a bit.
Yeah, I love, like, I really like that I got to live together
Mhm.
with my husband before we got married, as I stated earlier.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff that, like, so many experiences that we had together that, like, we would not have had if we were separate at
Mhm.
all. You know what I'm saying? And it spilled over into the other people around me, like my
Yeah.
family, his family. Like, we were very comfortable with us being around each other because we lived together. And
Mhm.
even, I don't know, even if your families are not nearby, maybe your friends, but you guys really become a unit together, and it's interesting,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I see it
eventful.
as like it could be like the ultimate test to
Hmm.
to see if you guys are ready for future things and ready to move forward in things. Because when you are dating and you seeing each other once in a blue, maybe every other weekend, every few months, however you guys decide to see each other, that is going to be a different type of situation.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
like living together, you'll see things that you wouldn't normally see during those special times when you're seeing each other. Because, of course, you're going to be at your best,
Yeah, that's so true.
right? So,
Um,
I think we got
mhm.
it down packed with these pros. Let's do
Okay.
some cons.
Yeah. So, like, if somebody else is like, no, I don't want to do this, y'all
Mhm.
wrong.
Mhm.
Here, and it's not all like rosy, there are some risk here.
Mhm.
So, I would say a con would be less commitment. So,
Mhm.
you guys may not be want to even get married, or it might just go down in the docket because it's like, whatever, we're already basically married. What's
Yeah.
the difference? You
Mhm.
become
Mhm.
apathetic towards
Mhm.
things.
Right? Get comfortable shacking up
Yeah.
and like, what's the point?
Just,
Definitely could backfire.
yeah, it could. And so that's a big risk right there, living
Mhm.
together.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. And especially with those more religious families and friends and people who maybe don't maybe don't agree with you two living together before you guys decide to get married and commit
Mhm.
yourselves to each other, that can cause a loss in those type of friendships and relationships with family
Oh, that's
members.
true. You could
You
lose
know?
some folks
Hmm.
living together.
Some people are really serious on this being taboo.
Hmm. And yeah, or like just completely against your beliefs. It might their view is like, okay, this is totally not okay, not morally okay.
Mhm.
Also, it could zap away the importance of marriage. Like, it seems like it may cheapen that
Yeah, and to definitely
for
speak to that
folks.
point, I don't think my husband and I personally lost any friends or family because of this, because of us living together. But
Hmm.
I do know when we were looking for someone to marry us, like his parents are really heavy in their religion, and when they were assisting us with finding an officiant to marry us, those were some things that they asked. And
Oh, wow.
once they found out we lived together, they wouldn't marry us.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe that's another con. Like if you had your heart set on this one person or this pastor, priest, or this family figure who may be tied to the religion of your families,
Hmm.
that can be a stipulation for them to choose to marry you or not.
Hmm. Wow.
It's
Well,
crazy. It's crazy out
that
here.
is really crazy. It is something to totally consider too. Like,
Hmm.
living together is not all of that. Like, these are there are reasons to not do it.
Hmm.
I mean, another con too is it's risky business.
Hmm.
Okay, like, you're more like, when you guys are making this commitment to live together, the chance is a high chance that you guys may not make it at all.
Hmm.
Like, you might lose your whole relationship.
This is true. It might be too much. Maybe the cons that they've witnessed or things that they probably couldn't see themselves dealing with on a day to day might be too much for them to handle.
Right.
And that can lead to some conflicts, and you might not even make it to the
Right.
wedding day.
I mean, especially it's like gender roles, right? So
Hmm.
you might have grown up in a space where like, like for me and my family, everybody's women. Like there's like
Hmm.
two guys in the whole side. And like I grew up with just like a house full of women, right? And then
Okay.
like I could have been with somebody who grew up in like a family where women had a certain role and men had a certain role, right?
Hmm.
And then
That's a
they
good
would be
point.
expecting me to fulfill these roles that the women around them were due. And I will be like, I don't know what you're supposed to do because I'm not used to guys being here. So,
Hmm.
like, it's those things can happen and rear their ugly heads and living together beforehand.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
so,
Definitely. And what about this age of being so independent?
mm-hmm,
Us as women, we take on that role of making sure that we can handle ourselves. We can do things for ourselves. And that class of women might be intimidating to someone else. So
mm,
maybe to a spouse, they're like, look, you have to ease up a bit, allow me to be that partner, allow me to have that wiggle room to make decisions and things like that. And to that person who's just been a strong, independent person, they might have a hard time letting go of some things because that's what they're used to.
yeah, and maybe living together through marriage might be the key that would soften it, right? Because
Hmm.
otherwise, you know, it could just be over the risky business. Like
Absolutely.
that's it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
also something that's risky. I feel like because you live together, it doesn't put I guess a time. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
can't put a time on someone's decision to propose. You can't put a time on
Mm-hmm.
someone's decision to be
Mm-hmm.
ready for marriage. So
Mm-hmm.
just because you guys may have made that decision to live together, you can't put yourself in that mindset to think, okay, we're living together next year. I better see a ring. You
Yeah.
know,
Where you getting that from? Where'd you
don't
get
do
that
it to
from?
yourself. Don't do it because it's going to lead to problems later on down the road. You got to
Mm-hmm.
wait until, you guys are both in that good space and ready to take that next step. Oh,
Uh,
it can lead
well,
to a lot of things.
here's a
Also,
here's the last con. You about to tell it?
oh, I was, but you could go ahead and talk about
Oh
it.
no, no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So, another con, you think, oh, I see my boo thing every weekend. We get to have great times. We go out, we hang out, we have, our close, intimate times. In some cases, when you live together, that might decrease.
Mm-hmm.
People might think like, oh, you live together, you're probably like at it like rabbits or whatever the term is. That's probably not always the case. So, factors of life plays a role. When you guys only
Mm-hmm.
see each other here and there for your special meetups and date nights. Sorry if you guys hear Logan, he's definitely trying to make an appearance tonight. But when you guys see each other during those moments, you don't get to see them when they're frustrated with a work project or
Mm-hmm.
they're upset that someone cut them off in traffic. It's like you're seeing that happy go lucky person that's super excited to see you all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get the stressed person who doesn't want to be bothered,
Mm-hmm.
and that might have an effect on intimacy.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that intimacy definitely changes only because the whole situation has changed. It doesn't mean
Hmm.
that it's something bad. It's just that, you went from also, I mean, you just learn things, right? You could learn
Absolutely.
like sometimes one partner is just like way more like needs more physical intimacy than you
Then
even knew than the
yeah.
other one, right? You're like, what? Where did this come from?
Right, because you only saw them every so often, right?
And
Maybe
you
you
were
didn't see
ready.
them
You
so
were ready
often.
too, because that's
Right.
what y'all was coming to do, right?
Right. Me
Or
being ready once a week is different from being ready Monday through
Monday,
Friday.
Friday, right? It's
That's a
crazy.
different type of
It's a
thing.
different thing, yes. But things you have to learn about your partner to understand, okay, how do we deal with these intimacy things? Things
Mhm.
that you just would never really think of. Another thing is like being surprised about, oh, okay, what would you, I don't know. It's just so many things. Like if your partner could be like, say your partner is like, no, this is not what I'm trying to say. What I'm really trying to say is like, say you have this whole thing where you want to look or feel like you have this whole get ready to get into the mood,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You have your whole thing planned out. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure my hair is done. Gonna make sure this is shaved. This is
Mm-hmm.
waxed. My nails
Mm-hmm.
done. This is done.
Toes are done.
Toes are done. I'm looking cute. I'm doing this, that, and third, right? We meeting up.
Yeah.
But if you're at home, you're not thinking about that. And they may be still ready to go.
It's like, I want to be comfortable as I am.
Yeah, as you are.
You
But
know?
those are things that you just gotta think about. Like, oh yeah, they might just always be ready to go. Like, oh yeah, whatever, I don't care.
Right.
Look
But
at
we don't want to leave you guys thinking like that is the end of intimacy because you decided to live together. No,
No.
you definitely have to, put the work in because we
Mhm.
are human. We get tired, we get frustrated, and we have to adapt to our person.
Yeah.
So have
And
those conversations.
on the other side, the other side is that you unlock new ways to be intimate and
Mhm.
you get to know your partner even better and you get to find more things, more fun ways to do stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not all bad. It's just a change. Just things change.
Yeah, it's just something different. You have to
Mhm.
adapt.
Have to adapt, have to learn, have to
Yeah.
grow.
And that's it.
That's it. That's the pros and cons.
Yes.
So let's talk
Yeah.
about if our pros were very convincing to you. I know you're
Mhm.
probably thinking, how do I know that I'm ready to live together?
Mhm.
This
Right.
sounds great. How do we know? How do
Mhm.
we prepare for this?
Exactly. And we're about to let you guys know if you're looking to take that step and explore living with each other,
Mhm.
definitely have a conversation and see where or what your relationship goals are.
Mm.
You don't want to be in the mindset of thinking like, yes, we're going to live together, we're going to get married, we're going to have kids. And then your spouse is like, yeah, this is great, we're living together. And that might be the end of it for them. You
Mm.
definitely want to make sure you're on the same page before taking that big step.
Yes, you want to have an end game, an end goal in mind. You have to say, okay, we're going to live together, but I want to get married one day. I want to get married in 5 years. I want to get married in 2 years. I want to get married in a month
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And you guys got to talk out, hey, what are we doing with kid? Like, what do you feel about kids? Maybe we're going to be a childless marriage or just be long-term partners. We don't need to do either of those things.
Mm-hmm.
um, you don't want to move in living in together without having those hashed out or at
Mm-hmm.
least talked about, like
Mm-hmm.
you have an idea.
Right. And I know this might sound a little elementary, but definitely set rules. You know,
Hmm.
if you're like that super cleanly, OCD type of person, you can't go to bed with a dish in the sink. You need the garbage thrown out every night. And the person you're with might be more lax.
Hmm.
Maybe that could be a conversation and you guys can come to an agreement to set rules for that both of you are comfortable and neither one of you feel like you're, you know, making the other one feel unwelcome or
Hmm.
upset.
Yeah, that's a good point. Setting rules, and speaking on rules,
Mhm.
set budget rules.
Nettie love a
I love
budget.
it. Listen, money, it
Mhm.
runs a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, talk about what expenses you guys are splitting or not. Make financial goals together. And it could start really small with like splitting the bills and expenses. Like start with
Mhm.
that. Hey, I expect you to pay the rent. I expect you to pay the light and water. Or let's split everything in half.
Yeah. You're definitely not only committing to each other and
Mm-hmm,
your good and bad flaws or whatever it
mm-hmm,
is, you're also
mm-hmm.
committing to financially show up and support each other in that aspect too.
Yes.
Definitely have a conversation about finances before taking that step.
Yes.
Mhm.
What else do you need to
Yeah.
do to prepare?
I mean, we're already on the topic of speaking. You want to communicate. Communication is key. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to keep drilling that in probably every other episode. But other than speaking with each other, you want to tell your family about it too. You don't want their opinions to kind of deter you or make you feel like, oh, is this the decision we want to make? If you
Mhm.
and your partner had that talk and you guys want to take that step together,
Mhm.
by all means, go ahead and do it. But you definitely want to keep your family in the loop and probably have those conversations with them too.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, you want to maintain that support,
Yeah, keep your
especially.
village.
Yeah, you don't want to upset people that you might need that shoulder to lean on when you're
Mhm.
stressed with wedding planning.
Mhm. Yes, and you don't want to like isolate yourself from your family and your own friends, and you don't
Mhm,
want that for your significant other. You
mhm.
guys are to make things better together, not to isolate yourself from your support system. So
Absolutely. Or possibly cause conflicts with your
mhm.
partner and your family or
Mhm.
your partner's family and you.
Mhm. Mhm.
You definitely all need to be on the same page because you're growing a village and like meshing together. Got to make it work.
So I think now that you are prepared to
Mhm.
live together and you guys live together and it's going great, how do you know you're ready for marriage after?
Mhm, mhm, mhm. That's a big step. Other than, deciding to commit to each other in the first place, I
Hmm.
think moving in with each other is the next big step that you can
Hmm.
possibly take.
Hmm.
So, to know that you're ready and prepared for marriage before getting into this living situation together. What do you think? What do you think that these people have to do?
Okay, number one, if you love living together,
Mhm.
you guys might be ready.
Mhm. Mhm. Can't live without each other. Want to be
Yeah,
around each
it's
other all
just
the
great.
time.
Them being home is home. It doesn't feel like they're in your space. It doesn't feel like home without them there. You guys are
Mhm.
loving it. You figured it out. The dishes are up or left in the
Mhm.
sink. You guys are rotating the garbage. You got a whole flow going and you
Mhm.
love it. That's how you
Absolutely.
know you're ready to live together. I
Right.
mean, go to the next step of actually getting married.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely this is something that can prove your trust and respect for each other. Once
Mhm.
money's involved, you definitely have to trust and have a level of respect for this
Mhm.
person that you're obviously sharing a space with and you're discussing money with this person.
Yep, yep.
Mhm.
What else? Hmm. Oh, you guys are feeling excited about possibly starting your own family. It could
Mhm.
be getting a puppy, a furry friend, or
Mhm.
actually having a human, or
Yeah.
whatever. However, your family, guys can be plant parents. You
Mhm.
guys are really, really excited about making the next step in life together.
Mhm. Yeah,
Not just living
definitely.
together. Like this is how you guys are knowing, hey, might be time to get married.
Mhm, and you can see that future of caring for something in the
Mhm.
future, whether if it's, like Nettie said, a plant or a child. You can see you doing that with this person.
Mhm.
Maybe you're ready.
Yep. And lastly, you just know that you found the one,
And you're ready to move forward.
just ready to move forward, ready to jump the broom, ready to make those next moves. Also, it's probably falling within that timeline you guys had spoke about before
Mhm,
you moved in together.
You had that talk and everything is starting to fall in line.
Yep.
It's time. You're
It's
ready.
really, really time. So that's how you know you're ready to move in, or not move in, but to get married.
Mhm,
Um, I know, how did I know I was ready for marriage after living together?
mhm.
Um, well, I was always like, hey, you should be my husband. So,
You would say that? That's so cute.
like, oh, whatever. Wait for
Like,
you to
just
get to
just in
it.
case you didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, you should just go ahead and ask. Like, so works.
That's nice. I'm clearly a monster. Oh, man. I mean, okay, let me take that back. I guess I won't call myself a monster, but I felt like I was ready when I was able to put aside my frustrations for things that I normally just couldn't tolerate. When it's
Mm,
just like, okay, I literally hate when you finish a water bottle and you just leave it wherever you were sitting. And I have to tell you about it over and over. But it wasn't a deal breaker. And it's like, okay, usually I'm the type to see something and it's like hazards.
Cut
Stop
them
for
off.
it's time to run.
Cut it.
Yes. You know I'm a runner. I'd be like,
She's a runner. She's a
so,
track star.
so when I didn't feel like getting my running shoes for things like that, I was like, okay, I might be ready. I might be all right with this.
Yeah. Did you feel like he was the one?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not a easy pill to swallow. So the fact that he keeps me grounded, he's definitely very persistent, and it's like even if not purposely, if something became challenging on my end,
Mhm.
he wasn't ready to throw in the towel. He was like, all right, I hate that you do this, but we're going to get through it. We're going to work it out and we're going to get past this hump. And
Yeah.
that just made me love him more and more. And it just keeps growing.
Oh,
Just
so
love it.
sweet. Oh,
Man,
yeah.
how about you?
Yeah, that's very similar with me. I get angry, be like, no, or I'm quick to throw in the towel, like, I don't want to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
But having my husband be like the type of person who's like, all right, let's talk this out. I know you don't want to talk about it. Let's talk this out. And being patient and giving me space and not giving up, not pushing off too. It really helped. It really helped us get through any problem we had. But it was an eye opener for me too. Like, oh yeah, he really is my husband. Like I said, I knew it was gonna happen. But
Right? Yeah. I think all in all, I
yeah.
think we love the fact that they took the time out to learn us, like
Mm-hmm.
learn what pisses us off, how to maneuver around it, learn
Mm-hmm.
how to just de-escalate a situation that can
Mm-hmm.
be like 0 to 100 in
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I truly admire that they do that.
I love that.
And
I
I
mean,
believe that's because we live together.
yeah, you learn
We
so
we had to
much.
go through those struggles first to figure that out, to figure out the exit plan, you know?
um, I also really did feel happy having him there.
Mhm.
Like him with me in the space, it wasn't just my space or just his space. It really
Right?
felt like our
And
space, and
share
it
it
was
together.
shared. It felt like a home, and it
Mhm.
was really fun. Like you guys, if you're thinking of living together or you want to try it out, think of it kind of like a playhouse where you
Mm.
guys can just try all the things that you want to try. You like question the
Mhm.
things that you grew up with, like, oh, okay. I
Mhm.
put my medicine in the medicine cabinet in the bathroom. Some
Mhm.
people put their medicine in the kitchen.
Right, that's another thing too, it's like meshing of 2 different
Different.
upbringings,
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
And
Like
so,
something small I'm sorry, I feel
mhm.
like I
No,
keep
no, no. Go
talking
ahead.
while
Go,
you're
go. No, no,
talking.
no, no. Go, go.
But something small is like, I always grew up with putting the ketchup in the cabinet. He puts
Oh,
the ketchup in the fridge.
I put mine in the fridge.
Yeah, that took a while for me to adjust to. I was like, I don't think I want cold ketchup.
Oh, it's the best. But when I was staying by my brother, he
Mhm.
puts the ketchup in his house. His family put the ketchup in the cabinet.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm. You see?
Yes.
But those might be the minute little things that can escalate to big things later. Granted, something
Yeah.
as little as putting a condiment in one place versus the other, but we're just using it as a minor example.
Those are pretty big. Like those are two different temperatures. What if you don't like the way it tastes cold?
I mean, compromise and adjustments. Maybe you guys just get 2 ketchups.
Yeah, you
Yours
just
stay in the
gotta get
cabinet,
two.
mine stay in
Mine's
the
like, oh
fridge.
yeah, that's it.
That's the perfect ideal situation for when you live together. Now you know what to do.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
tested it
that's true.
out in the playhouse.
Exactly. The playhouse, that's what it is though. And then, it's a lot less stress because now you're not freaking out like, oh my gosh, am I gonna go through the big D over some
Mhm,
ketchup?
mhm, mhm. Yeah, you
No.
plan and strategize while in the playhouse.
Well, on the playhouse, yeah.
I
I
like
love
that.
that.
In the
You
playhouse.
know. So Yeah, guys,
Mhm,
try to live it with your significant other. Tell us how it feels for you. What
mhm.
did you learn? What are some cool things that you might have figured out, or
Yeah.
some things that you guys overcame by living together?
Right. Or even if you lived apart, let us know how
Yeah.
that worked for you. If you lived
Hmm.
apart and you guys got married and then came together after the marriage, fill us in. Let us know how that worked out.
Yeah, because it could really work. You guys are both coming in on the same page. There's no ambiguity about this. Like,
Right. I'm sure it works. It's been working for
for
years.
years. But yeah. So anyway,
Mhm. Mhm.
y'all know that I love a Reddit, but today I want to switch it up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give a shot at it. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah,
Well, so because
Rima.
Nettie loves Reddit so much, I was like, let me jump on this and see what the hype is about. And I found an article that I wanted to share.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
All right, so here we go. So this states my boyfriend, 35 male, and I, 25 female, been living together for 2 years now. Don't get me
Okay.
wrong, I love him, but recently I'm questioning on living together. I realized since I started working from home, I started doing all the housework, regardless of the situation.
What?
When I go on lunch or take breaks, I would clean. When he comes home on break, he goes into the room and play games.
Oh,
Even asking him to take out the garbage on his way out is just forgotten.
mm-mm. He can't even take out the trash?
He forgets. He forgot. So now,
She's working too.
right, now she has brought it up saying it's unfair that she does the cooking and the
Hmm.
cleaning every day.
Hmm.
He just says he works 12-hour days and he's tired. Mind you, he works swing shifts. So he works 3 days and off 2 days and vice versa. So
Hmm.
that leads her to taking care of everything, including
Even?
on his days off.
Wow.
Everything. Now, she's in the market for a home and is wondering if she even wants to take a loan with him, knowing that this may be the start of problems since he has never lived by himself or
What?
planned to ever live by himself. Right. So in this
Okay.
case, do you think she's the a-hole during the engagement period to live by herself so he can realize how to take care of himself no matter how long this period may last? What do you
Oh,
think?
oh, wait, she's trying to have a
Yeah, she want to
long
live.
engagement so
Uh-huh.
he could
She
struggle
wants
on his own?
She's in for the long haul. She wants to take the
Oh.
engagement time frame to live
Mm.
alone until he realizes how to take care of himself.
How's she gonna know he learned how to take care of himself?
I
But
don't
she
know,
doesn't
maybe
live with
visit
him.
and see if he cleans up his own space. It seems like she wants to live apart and see how he functions on his own since he's never lived by himself.
Jeez, I don't know. I'm not the one that see. This is something. I'm happy that she's figuring this out now. Then they already got that loan, and then now she has to be miserable.
Mhm, mhm. You're living in a house that you guys have together. You have deeds and mortgage paperwork that you're into together, and I know it's
God,
a headache to get out of it.
yeah,
So, I don't think
mm-mm.
she's the a-hole in this. I think she's trying to plan and be strategic.
Yeah. I don't think so either. I just don't agree with her living apart. I don't think it solves anything. Not unless she's just trying to say she does wants to leave him in general.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I get it, especially with the age gap. He has
Hmm.
10 years on her.
Yes,
So,
sir. What are
you
you
got
doing?
come on. You're 35. You can't cook. You can't come on. You have to help out a little bit. It's a partnership. Unless he grew up in that type of household dynamic. We don't
Mhm,
know. He
mhm,
could have lived in a household where dad went to work, came back, got a cold drink, threw his feet up, watched TV, call it a
mhm,
night. And
mhm.
mom took care of everything,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
could be. Well, he's about to learn today because that ain't gonna happen over here for her. She's
Mhm.
like, you gotta figure it out.
Right. It's like I don't even think she's questioning it. This is her plan. she, she said, "I'm planning to live together. I mean, live alone for the engagement period."
I
Now
mean,
that could be
I mean, she's not wrong. She's not
oh
wrong for
no.
doing that. I think that that's a
No.
good idea to do. I'm just not sure if it's gonna like she's gonna get what she thinks she's gonna get out of it. Like
No.
he's
Yeah.
not gonna magically learn how to clean up while you're gone. He's
No.
gonna I can't foresee this 35-year-old man who's never done nothing for himself a day in his life. Magic, what's he gonna do? He's gonna
Right.
probably beg you to take him back or what?
Right. It kind of gives me like a bailout. It's like, okay, the going is
Mm-hmm.
rough. We're not
Mm-hmm.
even married yet, and you're already trying to live on your own and let me fend for myself and figure out what works for the both of us while we live separately. I think it's a recipe for disaster, but I don't think she's wrong with trying to come up with a strategy. She's trying.
She's
I don't
trying.
It's not a
She's
good
trying.
try, but it's a try.
I get it. I get her frustration. I just don't agree. Like I said, I don't think that that's the right way. You're not going to get what you want from that.
No,
He's
no.
going to just call his mom over to clean up.
That's it, or
Like,
hire a cleaning service.
hire a cleaning service. Like,
Have Uber Eats come and drop food off. Like,
go out to eat with his friends.
yeah, it's 2023.
Yeah, it's not gonna get, you're not gonna get what you want from that because you guys are not working on
Yeah,
it. But this reflects both a pro and a con of cohabitating, right?
absolutely.
So the pro here is that
Mhm.
she learned this before she's like deep in like legal
Mhm.
deeds and stuff
Binded.
like
Mhm.
binded. You know what I'm saying? The con is like there seems to be less incentive to try to work together through it in this
Mhm.
situation. Her answer wasn't to, oh, okay, let me try to make a plan with him on what I expect to be done. It was,
Mhm.
I'm going to live by myself and he's got to figure out on his own.
Absolutely. The communication is lacking.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
that's a good
probably need
one.
to do some pre-counseling and
Oh,
get some strategies from somebody else.
yep. Honestly, we should have threw that in there. How you know you're ready for marriage? You guys go get pre-counseling.
Have a non-related third party hear you both of you out
Mhm.
and give you some ideas.
Or you can write it on Reddit and then me and Rima will read it and tell you what to
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah. Or you can read some of these Reddit articles and learn from their situation. It's a learning lesson in everything.
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 Well, I think you did an awesome job.
Yay!
Yay!
My first Reddit on
Your
Reddit.
first Reddit on Reddit. It was amazing. It's like you could do these every week.
No, I'll leave it to you. This is kind of hard. This is kind of tough. I'll do a guest appearance once in a blue.
All right. We'll give the people what they want.
All right. So we're at the Sweet Tunes segment of the show.
Sweet tunes. Do 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 do.
We getting you right and your wedding playlist together.
I like that. That was good.
Oh, thanks. Off the fly. Just made that up. So yeah, so this is the part of the show where we give you guys 2 songs to add to your wedding playlist. So you can use it for an engagement video, walking down the aisle, coming into the reception. Whatever you want to use it for, we are here to help you out.
It will definitely be vibes if you play any of these songs. Trust.
All right, Nettie, what did you choose this week?
I chose A. Marie, Why Don't We Fall in Love?
I love that song.
Oh, so good. You guys gotta hear it. It's adorable. And it's really not even that long. I feel like it's like not even a 2-minute song.
It's such a sweet song.
It's such a good, sweet song. It reminded me of this week's topic. Just when you are deciding to live together, you guys are kind of falling in love or deciding like, well, hey, why don't we fall in love? Why don't we do this? And then if you guys don't live together before the I do's, you did decide, why don't we fall in love anyway? Why don't we do this after the I do? So it fit really well. And it's such a great song to play, especially, I think it's good for a wedding video song, but
Absolutely.
it's a vibe like for any point. Maybe you guys play this at cocktail hour. Oh my gosh.
It's definitely a lovely song. I love that song.
What did you pick
So I picked a song that my husband and I chose for the ceremony. I believe I walked out to this song. So this is Stacey Barth, Extraordinary Love. And I wish we could play it, but guess what? You can tune into our YouTube playlist and
Yes.
check it out there. It's such a beautiful song, and extraordinary is like the unusual. And for those who believe living together is taboo, that's what this is. It's an unusual situation that may work
Oh,
because you're
nice.
in love.
Oh, extraordinary in love.
Yeah. Well, yeah, check those two songs out, and if they work for you guys, add them to your playlist.
Yes. I think we also have a playlist on Apple playlists.
Do we
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I think we do. You guys can try to like search for it.
All
Definitely.
right.
Yeah, we have
Check us
that.
out.
Check us out. So, but you can also watch the playlist on our YouTube, and that's where it's at. So, guys, guess what?
It's that time.
Alrighty.
We made it to the end of the show.
The wrap up, the sugar, the spouse.
The sugar and the spouse. All right. So today's sugar this is a big decision. So you want to take your time and determine your relationship goals to ensure that you both are on the same page before taking that leap and making that commitment to live together.
And the spouse, very similar to the sugar, it's very important to consciously decide to move in together or not, and to have conversations with your partner about financial arrangements. Who's going to be responsible for maintaining what, and how the space will be allocated to incorporate both of people's values and beliefs. So, yeah.
Big key. The value and beliefs definitely have to make sure those are discussed.
And then folks' individuality, just make sure that all of those things are still considered, and you guys will be happy.
That's it. And that's a wrap. That's all for this episode, guys. So thank you for listening to us. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. And as you know, you can find us on Apple Podcasts.
Where else?
Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube.
That's right.
Instagram.
Yeah. And you can find us on all of those platforms by Sugar and Spouse. Just look us up. And then when you do, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about today's episode or some of the other episodes. Yeah. Do all those things.
Write to us.
Let us know how you're feeling. All right. So thank you guys again. We hope you enjoyed. And till next time.
Bye.
Bye.